Hello and welcome to the online channel of Strive to Drive. We aim to provide driving information for a range of people who do or do not have a driving licence. So if you want to get some general knowledge of cars, tips and discussions all for free, then please look no further. Today we'll be sharing our general knowledge of you to get you to understand your car and learn all the basics before you head off and drive it. Inside your car you've got internal components which control your driving. So the first thing you'll do is start with your key, pop it in the ignition. You'll find you'll have a steering lock, which a lot of people don't find hard to get around the first time. So you just jimmy that a bit and you get to your ignition. It turns one point and you see your lights are on and there's power basically flowing through the car. And if you are to turn that on, one more step, making sure that your car's in neutral, as in not in gear, and your handbrake is applied, it will start. So once we've got this going, we can demonstrate the basic instrument. So we've got an indicator on the left hand side of this car because it's the make and model. Some are in left and right, obviously up and down. We've got hazard lights here in case you need to apply them if anything goes wrong. We've got your washers on your right hand side, which washes your window and moving it up and down controls its speed and whatnot. If you're driving at night, you're going to need to put your lights on, so this is where your lights are located. One flick puts a low beam on, next flick puts your high beam on. If you're driving in dark conditions, you need your high beam. And now we can talk about your gears and stuff. So if you turn the key back off the other way that we turned it on, your ignition will turn off and your car will be pretty much dead. Your steering will be a lot harder too. So we have a gear here and we have your handbrake here. To apply this, it's just a down, up motion, pushing the button in and out. So down here we have 3 pedals. On the left hand side is your clutch pedal, which separates the engine from the gearbox. In the middle we have your brake pedal, which stops the car, and on the right hand side we have the accelerator pedal, which propels the engine, therefore makes you go faster. So if we are to drive the car, gears go with the clutch, so as the clutch goes in, we select our gears and bring it out and forth. Once you get familiar with the inside of your car, you should be alright. Now that we've got to know the inside of your car, we'll move on to the outside parts. So we'll start with the engine. Your bonnet hatch can be located down the bottom of your car by your pedals. You just give it a little pull like that. Once you pull the bonnet hatch, a little lever will come out from the front, which you've just got to pull forward, and it will release your bonnet. And this is your engine, this is what powers the car. And the maintenance tips you need to know for this one is checking your oil levels. So your oil will go into here. You would then need to go around and check your water levels in your car. You do this by popping off this cap to fill it up. And you should have a level which indicates your high and low. So if it's on the low, then you'd have to remove the cap and fill it up with water. And you would only remove this cap when the car's cooled down, because when it's hot, it can be very, very hot. And to check the screen wash, you'd pop open that cap, and if the levels are low, you'd fill it up with the right amount of water and screen wash resolution mix. While you're under the engine, you might as well check your electrical components, make sure there's no general tear, and you'll check your brake fluid levels to make sure that they're high, because if they're not, then your brakes might fail. You'll also check general wear and tear around your belts, which is around your starter motor, and make sure that everything is okay. You've got to check that your tyres are to a legal requirement, which means that there's enough tread on the rubber, and you've got to make sure that there's enough air in the tyres, which the tyre wall should tell you how much PSI it goes in there. You can do that at a petrol station. And you've got to just check your tyre wall for any wear and tear, general damage, any pins or needles before you set off. To check your oil, you would use your dipstick. You would start by taking it out to get an accurate level reading. You'd have to wipe it off with a bit of tissue first and pop it back in. And when it comes out, you should have a reading between the high and low mark. Mine is between the low, nearer to the low than it is the high, so I need to fill up. And you would do this by removing your oil filler cap and pouring away. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching our first tutorial of many. Tune in next time for Dan's parallel parking tips.